Got it. Let's look at Chapter 21. Week 3, A Legacy Beyond Ourselves. Chapter 21, A Sinful Census and a Sacred Site. This chapter details one of the greatest personal and national sins of David's reign, his decision to take a military census. It's a story of pride, consequence, repentance, and ultimately, redemption. David's great failure, through his repentance, becomes the very event that identifies the sacred location for his son's great legacy, the temple. A breakdown of the chapter. 1. Satan's incitement and David's sin, verses 1-6. The chapter begins with a chilling statement. And Satan stood up against Israel and provoked David to number Israel. Driven by this prideful temptation, David orders his commander, Joab, to count all the fighting men in Israel. Joab immediately objects, sensing that this is a sin. He asks, "Why then doth my Lord require this thing? Why will he be a cause of trespass to Israel?" But David overrules him. 2. God's judgment, verses 7-14. The census is completed, and the act was evil in the eyes of God. God sends the prophet Gad to David with a choice of 3 punishments: 3 years of famine, 3 months of being defeated by his enemies, 3 days of plague from the angel of the Lord. David, in a moment of wisdom and humility, chooses the third option, saying, "Let me fall now into the hand of the Lord, for very great are his mercies, but let me not fall into the hand of man." A terrible plague then sweeps through Israel, killing 70,000 people. 3. David's repentance and intercession, verses 15-17. The angel of the Lord comes to Jerusalem to destroy it, but God relents. David looks up and sees the angel with a drawn sword stretched over the city. He and the elders, clothed in sackcloth, fall on their faces. David cries out to God, taking full responsibility. "Is it not I that commanded the people to be numbered? Even I it is that have sinned and done evil indeed. But as for these sheep, what have they done? Let thine hand, I pray thee, O Lord my God, be on me and on my father's house, but not on thy people, that they should be plagued." 4. The altar and the atonement, verses 18-30. The prophet Gad tells David to go to the threshing floor of Ornan the Jebusite and build an altar to the Lord. David buys the location from Ornan, refusing to take it for free, saying, "I will verily buy it for the full price, for I will not take that which is thine for the Lord, nor offer burnt offerings without cost." He builds the altar, offers sacrifices, and God answers with fire from heaven, stopping the plague. Connecting to our theme, a legacy beyond ourselves, this chapter is a profound lesson on the connection between personal sin and public legacy. Sin has a corporate impact. David's private sin of pride did not just affect him. It had devastating consequences for 70,000 families in his kingdom. It shows that a leader's personal choices create a legacy, for good or for bad, that impacts everyone. Repentance can redeem a legacy. David's legacy could have been this terrible plague, but his deep, personal repentance transformed the situation. He took responsibility and stood in the gap for his people. Our greatest failures can be redeemed for God's future purposes. The place of David's greatest sin and repentance, the threshing floor of Ornan, becomes the very ground upon which the holy temple will be built. David's costly sacrifice secured the land where generations of Israelites would come to find forgiveness and fellowship with God. He turned a place of judgment into a place of mercy for all who would come after him. Reflection. Questions for your group. 1. David's sin was taking pride in his own military strength instead of trusting in God. What are some areas in your life where you are tempted to trust in your own strength instead of God's? 2. When confronted with his sin, David took full responsibility. Why is it often so hard to say, "I am the one who has sinned"? 3. David refused to offer a sacrifice that cost him nothing. What does this tell us about the nature of true worship and repentance? Key takeaway for chapter 21. Even our most costly failures, when met with true repentance, can be redeemed by God to establish a legacy of grace for others.